in theory. Let's see. I gotta get there. In the future, I've already made these. I just gotta do it. So. Boy, when you do things like this, you gotta really hope you're doing the right thing, right? You know, just gotta, can't just drill a hole anywhere and it's the right thing. But this is the right place at the right time. So I'm gonna drill this hole with a vengeance. I won't hold back. That's it. This is where the wire goes. You always need to have a hole for where the wire goes. This is how it is. Plug it in, plug it in. There we go. Last one. Alright, that's it. I can go to bed. Good night. There. So, now, put this away. Here. You ready for this? I want to show you the north of these speakers. All right. So here we have these pairs of speakers. And it's the magnet that really matters with this. It's the magnetism. It's not the speaker like a sound. We're not using the paper of this. We're just using the power of its magnet. So we have to make sure that if you put the face, that the north will follow that face. That's the North Pole speaker that we're looking for. And so I just check each one. Sneak up on it. You know. So I just try each one, make sure that they're north. They always are. The way the machine puts the magnet on the spool is that you all line up. Otherwise, they would chase each other away. But here they are. So this is the way to send the power of the zapper through a magnet so that anything that cannot hold handles can zap. So we zap our cat, and we zap food, but you know, not at the same time. So there.
The cat would like it to be at the same time.
Right, the cat would be okay with the food zapping and the cat zapping. But not I. There we go. So that's it. They're all really
All north.
very north. The great white north. There it is. So now I have 12 speakers I can put over here.
So you're gonna set up on that table?
Yeah, I'm gonna solder these into the boxes now. Transport all of my North Pole speakers to my table.
All right.
Now I get the gonna get rid of the alligator clips over here.
Jonas Montes says, Queria zapper moro no Brasil. I gotta translate that. I don't know what that means. Hi. Hello, Brazil.
Do this. This is the appalling thing that I'm doing. I'm shaving these off. I need this just to be soldered on. You know? I like watch this awesome moment. I love these. Yeah. Anybody know any songs? Sing to me while I do this. Maybe something.
Clipping the alligators.
Yeah, it's just crazy, right? What can you do?
Wasn't there an alligator song?
Sweet. Anybody needs these alligators? I got 9 million. 9 million.
What to do with them?
Right. I talk to them. You can make toys, puppets, alligators.
Can make the alligators
Some good crafts.
bite each other.
Right.
Smile was on the alligator.
You have to write that song.
I thought there was like a preschool song about it.
It's gotta be. It'd be a crime if
There
wasn't.
was. I remember it. I just don't
But you
remember
don't
it
remember.
right now.
See? That's the whole thing. Remembering it. You'd be singing it by now. So there. This is the wire that goes through the hole
Happening here.
to grandmother's house. We go. So that's why I drilled all those cases. It's for this wire. This is that wire.
So you're stripping the wire.
Yeah, getting ready to solder to the speaker so we can plug it into the zapper. So that's how it all transfers over. So this goes into the red positive output of the zapper, and then the magnet will broadcast the zapper's frequency for a pretty big space. Sorry, that was loud. I control myself. Very enthusiastic for this. This tool is so much fun. I mean, really, that really just empowers me.
Okay, so I just translated Queria zapper moro no Brazil means I wanted a zapper, I live in Brazil. So hi everyone. Thank you for joining us. You want to hold that stripping up there to the camera just to show
What am I doing? Oh yeah. Check it out.
show what you're
Look how
doing.
cool this tool is. So this tool immediately one move. What's this? That's very handy indeed. Wire stripper. Magic wire stripper at that. That's really. See, it's a wire stripper. That's how it is. There we go. Here, are you in there? Here we go. Juicy. Look at that. Just pulls it right off. Don't even have to think about it. But then I do think about it. Right. A couple left of this. My soldering gun has been heating up this whole time. So I'm ready. Oops.
Sorry.
I just punched all of you. I'm so sorry. Gotta be careful of what I'm doing. Last one. I gotta clean this mess up. Look what I've done. Doesn't take long. Like 2 seconds and it's like mayhem. All these things no one ever needed. No one ever will. These in the box. I don't know. That's it. So now I get to solder these speakers into those boxes.
So these boxes, you're making something that will connect to the Hulda Clark Zapper.
And this is like just to withstand whatever you put on it. So this allows you a flat surface to put on top of the speaker itself. And so this speaker will live inside of here. So I'm going to hot glue it here. I'm not allowed to use any metal, so these nuts and bolts are not something I'm going to use. I'm actually going to use the hot glue gun. So I've got to plug in my glue gun. There it is. Let's see. Where do I have the cord? There. There, now I can like glue these as I do these. That's just fun to say.
Where are you gluing them? On that table or your table?
I will have to do them kind of over there where the glue gun is.
Okay.
So I'll probably be hopping around to stations
Mm-hmm.
because this isn't big enough to do everything in one place. And I gotta get a piece of paper to put underneath my gun. The glue gun grips once it gets excited.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing any of us can do about it.
Glue gun, North Pole speaker, box. So you're cutting all those boxes open already?
Yeah, this is plastics in the way. I struggle with this wrap. It fights back. It's rubbery, so it's hard to like stretch it off. It just stretches and kind of stays, so I have to at least start it. And the rest will peel off better.
Yeah. Where's everybody from? Hi.
We're in
Hello.
Maine. We're in the northern Maine. So this plug is going to be soldered to the plus on the speaker. The speaker has two connection points. There's a minus and a positive. I just have to solder this to the positive. I'll use this thing here, grip, clothespin. This. If you pull on this, it will rip out of the speaker. So the idea is to tie a knot right here to allow any pressure to just stop at the knot and not pull this off the speaker. So that's an electronic trick. Wherever there's going to be tension, put the tension before it rips your electronic circuit apart. Smart stuff. So now I can stretch this out, give me a little slack. We all need a little slack. I'm going to put this in the plus, and that's where I intend to solder that to. See if I've got enough. I got to plug that in. All right. I may return. Just never know. Yes, yes, it lives. Okay.
Okay, Someone asked a question. The Great American Fallout says North Pole box? Question mark. Or Zappicator.
Right. Yeah, that's what this is. This is the North Pole speaker box is just this part. When it's hooked up to a zapper, that's what they call zappication. Zappicator is when you use a magnet to send the zapper instead of the two copper handles that are direct in line with you. So these are gonna start adding up.
So instead of zapping with copper handles, you hook your zapper up to this North Pole magnet.
Yeah. So this is gonna get glued in place, and then it will make more sense. So this is just work in progress.
And he says, sweet. So it allows you to zap anything that doesn't hold on to the copper handles, such as food and beverage and pets. So anything that you can put on top of it.
And like salads, things you don't cook. So you can put like a salad or different foods like that. And pets that you don't cook, you can also put on there. So that's important.
So he's building it into these boxes so that it has a surface to put your thing on.
Yeah, your food, your beverages.
Yeah. The Great American Fallout says, I've watched all of his videos, LOL.
Oh my God. Well, there's no one there to stop you, obviously. Looks like that's yeah, no, that's great. Thank you so much. I go a little overboard. All I do is talk about zappers all the time. But the thing is, it changed my life so much. I can't help but be like, dude, do you know about this? It's like that. Dude, do you know about this? Dude! Like that. That's like I'm that guy. I don't know. But I get so thrilled about when I hear it helps people because, I feel like we've zapped a long time, but we don't have major health issues. We stay ahead of all that kind of stuff. But we hear things from people, right? Like people be like telling us their stories, and that feels good to know that like there are all kinds of people who believe that the Hulda Clark Zapper and has helped them. A lot of people build one from the instructions in the book, all that stuff. It's really cool to be part of it. And so I feel like I like the community. I love all the do-it-yourself people who want to learn as much about taking care of like their family and their own health. There's a certain pioneer spirit to that I really like. It's like I'm gonna learn how to take care of my family. That's different than being like kind of all the time letting the professionals do everything and not knowing anything, like being like uninformed is I think very a scary thing for me.
He also asks, do you ever experience die-off after using the zapper?
Yeah, totally. I get wicked tired. Sometimes I zap and it's like nothing. Sometimes I zap and I need to take a nap. So the old zap and nap thing makes me think I targeted a lot. So it's just the way it goes, especially like in the winter time here in Maine. We'll get like outside or doing stuff or family get-togethers and kids with snotty noses. You just don't know what's next sometimes. And then you come home and zap. And so, yeah, absolutely. I will sometimes believe I really targeted something when I get zonked out, right? It'll be like, I gotta go to bed. It's just how it is. Like it really makes me tired sometimes.
Yeah, almost like the more you got, the more you.
Yeah, the more you need it,
the more you need it, the more you're exhausted by it.
And what's funny is people will be like, when I first got this, it was so amazing. I could feel it. It was like tingling where I needed it, and now I don't feel it anymore. And I'm like, that's because you got better. They're like, oh yeah, like there's the awareness that those problems are now something else. It's interesting. The process is neat.
Yeah, it's true that we change too. So yeah, like if we have less to contend with, then it probably wouldn't zonk us out more. It would be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Guess I must have. Do you still sell DIY zapper kits? Yes, we do.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, I think it's really important to keep the how to do it yourself thing alive. And it's super fun to share with somebody. If you know someone who's just as weird as you are, you could like share this with them, like my dad or like someone. Like we built homemade zappers, and we weren't even the same state. We would use our zappers and phone each other up, and it'd give us a reason to be like, you know, son, I was using the zapper the other day, and I feel good. You know what I mean? Like it just was fun to talk to my dad about it, and he used it a lot. So. So I would say build it with someone if you can somehow figure out how to, and then you have someone to compare notes with, someone, so you're not all alone with it. Sometimes it's nice to share it with someone.
It's cool to Jay builds them into like these toys or odd boxes, not like just in a typical electronics project boxes. That's something you can share with your friends as well. Be like, try to outdo each other. Be like, I built it in a this and that.
Yeah, you can all build a zapper and then go to Goodwill and find something to put your zapper in, and that can be silly. As silly as you want it to be.
He says, I'm the guy that builds everything: zappers, cloud busters, orgonite, orgone bubbles.
Dude, all right, so because I make everything here in my house, when I do the copper pipes, I have all of these little filings of making sure that my copper pipes are nice and smooth. I have so much copper that could be cast into resin for orgonite. Like beautiful coils of handmade here in Maine. So I just need some resin and some like molds, and I could make some beautiful orgonite. Yeah, we'll make a short run of zappers that run the orgonite through, like the Terminator did, that Don Croft had put together. He has orgonite in his zapper design, so it's like always like, yeah, we can do that. We're Mainers. We can do that.
This is where it happens.
Yes.
Do it, he says, or I'll buy it off you, LOL.
Right. I know, because it's like I just don't know what else to do with it. Like I've never brought it to like recycling or to one of those places where they buy your metal. Or I've always thought this would be fun. It'd be more fun to make orgonite. I've cast plenty of resin in my time. I just didn't even think to push this stuff into it. It was a while when they're probably sitting next to each other. So now I just glued this in because I don't want to use any extra metal. The magnet is connected to this thing. That's what we want. We want the speaker's magnet. It's wired to the plus. Only the plus. You know what's crazy is there's a few things. If you connect the plus and the minus to the zapper at 1,000 hertz, you would hear it because you're a human being. And you would hear it because it's under like it's where you would hear it.
1,000 is about
and it would drive you nuts.
Hearing, yeah.
And it doesn't work. It's the radio frequency can run just on the positive red line all by itself without ground. So that's one of the magic weirdnesses of RF, that the RF frequency has no problem running through this magnet. So there it is.
Just keep going. I'm going.
Sure enough. So there it is. So once that dries in there, I can then glue this and then close it up. And I haven't used the nuts and bolts.
Cool. Kids going across the street.
Me too.
Yeah. So
now I'm going to close it. Now I don't use the nuts and bolts they gave me because those are ferrous metal. I don't want them interfering with the frequency. And I'll explain that. Magnets are weird. And if you stick a magnet to your refrigerator at home, it sticks. And if you take your magnet off, flip it around and put it on your refrigerator, it sticks. So it turns ferrous metal into the opposite of whatever side you put it. If you put the north side on your refrigerator, it turns south and it takes the magnet. It'll do it if you flip it. So you don't want metal flipping your polarity here in your device. So
So you wanted to keep it north instead of it flipping to south. But, so we try to make our North Pole speaker boxes not have any unnecessary metal than it already has. Obviously,
yeah.
the
And you're
wires.
supposed to remove your metal if you're going to zappicate, like your pet. Take the collar off so you don't have metal. Don't do it in a metal kennel because it rhymes. don't-
And same thing with food. Like if your thing is in a mason jar, take the lid, the metal lid off your mason jar before you put your glass jar on your box.
Yeah, or recontain it in something that's like glass. If you can. Yeah, so what else do you do? How do you use the Zappicator?
Me?
Yeah, you zappicate all the time.
I do.
So you're doing your salad.
I zappicate my salads. I zappicate really anything, fruit, anything that I can't cook. And then I zappicate my pets.
Yeah, for some reason your cat will if you just get out the Zappicator, she thinks it's cat time. And she just gets on it, and then you can't get her off it.
Yeah, I tuck it under a rug, and she just sits on it happily.
Yeah.
So it is a good idea to have two of these, one for your pet, one for your food. That way, you don't make it gross.
You can't do that.
But it's and there it is. We're letting it dry, letting the glue dry. What do you think of this? I see some of these North Pole speaker boxes being sold as like all-in-ones, where they've built a zapper inside
That's too
their
much metal.
North
So
Pole
now
speaker
you
box.
have the very thing that makes it, like for instance, if you flip your frequency, it supports the zapper will support the parasites, right? If you
Right,
do
it makes
wrong.
them thrive.
If you do like the negative offset wave, you would be the opposite of a positive offset wave. And so Hulda Clark was like, hey, this technology can support them as well as hinder them.
Right.
And so you didn't want to, by mistake, have any bit of the wave to be in the negative, dipping into negative, which supports the parasite's growth. And so there was the issue of just using this technology for that ill will, kind of like, will there be studies of how to disease people with frequency from that? The other side of this is just as possible. And so you don't want to put the technology inside the speaker area where it'll interfere and give you the opposite polarity, and then you're promoting parasites,
Right, yeah.
and stuff. And so you want to keep them separate. I feel like it isn't hard to follow the instructions in Hulda Clark's books, but we're the only one who do.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? Like, what is it about Hulda Clark clearly is like, do it like this, and then no one does. Like, they're like, I don't need to do it like that.
Well, they think they can do better. So like they say,
Yeah.
for convenience, it'll be like all in one. We don't need.
I'm not trying to do better. If these things do what Hulda Clark says they do, that's good enough. It's just good enough, right? That's how I feel. I feel like if these do what Hulda Clark says they do, they don't need to be better. That's good enough. That would be like a miracle unto itself. So I feel like that's like the why change something that is working. And I don't know if there's like just an ego or a copyright or some kind of patents or wanting to own something. I don't know what the need is, but I love opening the book, following the instructions, so that when you're also reading the book, it's easy to follow the instructions to the experiment, that all the equipment is familiar to the text.
Okay.
It's awesome, right?
Yep. All right. What next? What are we doing? Oh, okay.
Gotta glue them. Oh, man, gotta glue them down. Nothing I can do about it. I got glue. I'm gonna use it.
All right. So am I gonna have to take this away?
Right. Well, that's the part you do. They go away to some mysterious place. Yeah, these are like so handmade, it's crazy. I can't even believe I still do this. I'm 500 years old, and here I am. I do this is what I do, and I do it well. And I don't know who's going to do this. I need to teach the cat all of these tricks. Seriously. I've been doing this so long. This is the one you want. Good stuff.
All right, thank you.
There's one.
Here it is.
There's one.
So this is the top of your North Pole speaker box. You can put your food on it or whatever.
Yeah, like
you know,
you
your
have water,
pets.
you can zap your water.
Right there. And hook this up to the red plug of your
It's over
zapper.
Here it is.
Where can I buy a DIY kit? The DIY kit is...
ClarkZapper.net.
Yes.
So it's the .net. So it's ClarkZapper.net has all the video instructions of how to build the kit and all the parts you need. So that's where I have it. We've gone getting phone calls. That's so awesome. So now I gotta solder some more of these speakers.
All right, where'd you go?
Great. The
Ah,
phone
there
was
you
ringing.
go. Oh, really?
Yeah. The natural health supply phone was ringing.
How long have you been building these?
Oh my God, like over 20 years now. So I've been doing this, oh gosh, way back, way. It helped my family so much that I just got heavily into it. And I feel like I've just been doing this. Well over 20 years, easily, right? Like, it's like, could be 30, who knows? When wasn't I doing this? Let's talk about that. So there. That's how I feel. I've been doing this for as long as you could. Like, I feel like my dad handed me Hulda Clark's book, like hot off the presses or something. He was waiting for it, I guess. So he was like, hey, build me a zapper. And so I built my dad the first zapper. And so it was when Hulda Clark's book first came out. My dad was curious about the zapper, and I just got in. I started making zappers and putting them on the internet. And so we have ClarkZapper.com and ClarkZapper.net for our zappers, and it's been awesome. It's been a really great journey. Years of just teaching people about it. That I'm so happy when I hear how much it helps people. Like, I find that a reward that I can't even. It gives me purpose instead of giving me porpoise. Yeah? What am I gonna do with a fish that size? Nothing. I need purpose. So it feels good. I like feeling good. I like feeling that I'm doing something to help people. That feels good. And that's motivating. It's just that's enough for me. Because deep down, I'm a comic book supervillain, so I need to feel that I'm doing something good. So it's like, here I am, hunched over, melting lead in the name of health, right? Not easy being me. So here here I am. This is my hobby, though. I love doing this.
All right, let's see. Yeah, so like, what are our businesses, and we've been in business for
All right, follow me.
24 years, gonna be 25 on, like, in January, basically.
Yeah.
But you've been building it even longer than that.
Yeah, that's because there was no one here to stop me.
So you've been building zappers way longer.
Right.
Now, the North Pole speaker boxes specifically, Dr. Clark started talking about that in, like the 2000s, right? When she came out with it at the.
This is like what, this is the prevention book. Has a lot of electronics going on. So there's a prevention, Hulda Clark's prevention book, which is her next to last book that she ever published. It had a lot of zapper and electronics information, and this was one of them. So this was an invention to answer the question of how to zap anything that cannot hold the handles. And so using the magnet to send the RF frequency was the simplest solution. And it was a low frequency, so Hulda Clark really just lowered the zapper's frequency to 1,000 hertz, and then the lower frequency travels further. I'll be for sure, like, I've seen lots of zappers, and the lower the frequency, the more you feel it, because there's less interruption in the frequency, so you're getting more voltage. And so by breaking up everything less, you're getting more voltage. There we go. So 1,000 hertz travels through the speaker better than the 30. The 30 kilohertz is used for regular zapping with handles. And this goes better with a low frequency that travels.
Yeah.
There we go. They're pretty easy to make. You just need what, like an 8 ohm speaker that's about 2 or 3 inches wide. And it's going to be this kind of magnet that's outside, not like built inside of a container. And so you don't want a shielded, contained magnet that you can't see. Like, you don't want an expensive, you want the cheapest speaker you can get, like the cheapest 2-3 inch 8 ohm speaker that has a magnetic north face. That's all you gotta check for. And you can build one of these. And that's almost every speaker. It's harder to find a South Pole speaker. Go way out here. You have a hard time finding that. So I've only seen a few. And speaker is secured to the center. Close up the whole kit and caboodle. I have no idea what that is. There it is. And I have 2 seconds. I must hurry. The pressure is on. Will you make it? There.
Taz Artista say, hi Jay and everyone. I've seen some people say zapping at 15 hertz is quite effective for deeper areas like the gut. Is this actually true?
The Terminator, the Doncroft Terminator zapper, I think is around there, is about 15. So the range for zapping is anywhere from like 5 hertz to 500,000 hertz. So that's a huge range that's effective. And as long as the wave is completely positive, Hulda Clark found that that's a positive offset square wave. That's all is required. And so, yeah, those lower ones, you will feel that zapper though. So I know that the Terminator, because the two terminals are next to each other, they've given it a super low frequency in hopes of that depth that it can provide will be enough to not just short out so that you have the healthiest 2-inch patch of skin ever. So I feel like the Terminator is an example of a low frequency zapper. And they're strong, you feel them. They're a good zapper. There it is.
Yeah, so Dr. Clark really, she set that 30 because she felt like that's what went furthest. I think that's what I
Skin
read.
effect.
Yeah.
Really good skin effect, and it just
And-
when she just tested it, it showed up in, you know. So it was like so people swear by like 2,500 hertz. That's like that's a really common. Just somehow the folklore of zapping has
It evolved as people
Ground
tried them
certain
out, I
frequencies.
suppose. Yeah, but the Hulda Clark Zapper, the way she had it written out in her books, is 30 kilohertz. And that's very comfortable for the user so that you can hold on to it for a long period of time.